Okay, we're going again. we just talked along for about a good 10 minutes, and then I looked over and the cord was covering the one little part of the monitor where you can see whether it's recording or not, and I forgot to push the record button. And I feel like that's life now.
What happens?
I gotta do the read. The spot.
No, God, you can't.
Yes.
No, you don't. You so don't.
This program is brought to
Oh
us
my God.
by Jimmy Winter Trucking.
Just leave it at that.
No.
Yes.
You don't want me to say all that again?
No.
Well, I'm going to shorten this way up. Jimmy is now branching out into, what's that called? I said it before.
Uber Eats?
Close. There's another one that's... Oh, fuck. Anyways, long story short, well, he's out hauling logs. DoorDash. Well, he's out hauling logs. You shoot him a message. Let's just say you're working on your faucet and you need a new washer from Costa's. He'll wheel in there and pick it up, drop it off at your house. You have food delivery, he'll stop and get it. You need a pound of sugar from Costa's, other Costa's. He'll swing by and get it. Whatever you need. He's got extra time is what I guess.
Sweet.
This was a lot longer last time,
Mm-hmm.
and it felt like more fun. Call Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Winner. He's a winner.
But doesn't spell it that way.
All right. Oh, I can't believe I forgot to push the button. Anyways. So, exactly a year ago, we did a podcast where we were all pissed off about the coronavirus and all the ridiculousness.
I want to
stupid rules.
I feel like we need to go back and listen to that though, because I bet there was still a fair amount of asshole puckering over shit. Are we all gonna die?
I don't think now.
I think yeah.
No, because
I think it was May-ish when we're like, all right, screw this.
No, it was after Easter. Because remember, everything closed down like in March, and we're gonna be closed for 2 weeks, and then after Easter, everything will open back up. Remember that whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
And all of us are like, okay, we can all shut down for a couple weeks and get this under control and let the medical people get all their supply. Yeah, get their supplies in place, and then we just never reopened. Because don't you remember it was a big Easter thing? And then Trump's like, well, I didn't specifically say Easter. I just was by Easter.
He just didn't say what year.
And here we are, a year later, and things have gotten... Well, I feel like people just don't give a fuck anymore.
Everything's open,
like
pretty much.
Right.
The people that are still on unemployment is because they want to be.
Yeah, if you want a job right now, like, you can get 10 before noon tomorrow. I am kind of... One thing that does still have me really frustrated is that my kid has to go to school every day and wear a mask all fucking day long. Mm-hmm. It's insanity. And I keep asking people this same question. So I had a conversation with somebody today. I won't just say who they are because I'll write you a note real quick. So it's a couple of a friend of ours. They call up.
His name is... No, just kidding.
He called up to shoot shit today and asked me about something work-wise. And so we're talking. And they're older than us. They're probably 60s.
Way to blow them
in.
in.
No. It's all right. It doesn't matter.
They don't listen.
I'm sure not. Maybe. But
anyways. I don't
anyways.
even think they're on Facebook.
I don't know. So anyways. I haven't talked to him in probably a couple months anyways. So we're kind of, how you doing? How you been? Sort of thing. And he says something like, somehow we get around talking to coronavirus. And what's funny is I've had multiple conversations with people like this that I haven't talked to in a while. And, how you doing? Great. How you doing? Good. And then he's like, so have you got that shot yet? And I'm like, nope. Are you gonna? Hard fucking no. Just no. And then he's like, oh, well, I got it. My wife just scheduled us to get it. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Like, it's your choice. Do whatever you want.
We're not going to vaccine shame.
And he's older, you know.
Well, yeah.
He's in a different, you know.
Right.
So it maybe makes more sense, or maybe you're more worried about it. But I asked him the same question. I'm like, so we're a year into this. Do you know anybody who's gotten deathly ill and died because of the coronavirus? And I keep asking people this, who are going on about it. And they're like, no. Like, seriously. We are a year into
Yeah, but that doesn't
this.
mean it didn't happen.
Listen.
It just hasn't been people we know.
Stop it.
What?
Do you know a single person from Piper's school, child, or teacher for that matter, who has gotten severely sick and died?
No.
From COVID? Nobody. So what are we doing? Why did we shut everything down?
Well, but you're acting like nobody actually died.
I'm not saying nobody died at all, period. I'm saying they didn't just get COVID and died.
Well, you don't know that.
How come we don't? Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. How come we don't know anybody from our community who's gotten sick that didn't have something else really fucked up wrong with them? Anybody that I know that's died of COVID was either old as fuck or was really, really sick with something else to start with. Now, I'm not saying that COVID's not real and it didn't contribute. Like if you already were battling some other illness and you got COVID, just like when you got the flu or pneumonia or anything else in the whole wide world, when you're compromised and it takes you out. What I'm saying is we don't shut down our fucking businesses, our schools, our sports, our way of life because people who have fucking cancer or heart disease might get the fucking flu. We just don't do that. It's fucking asinine. And that's what we did. Like for the response that has happened to this does not equal the danger to anybody. For us to shut down the entire world, we should, and I'm glad we don't, we should at least know one person in our immediate circle. We talk to a lot of fucking people. We should know one person who one day was perfectly fine, next day got the coronavirus and died. And
well, I'm, for the record, I'm glad we don't.
Me too, but I've asked countless people this over and over again, and they're like, I know, my dad or something along that lines. He tested positive for the coronavirus and died. So he was healthy before? Oh, no. He had real bad diabetes, was really bad, and he was on dialysis.
Yeah.
Like it's always there's some other issue. And younger people who quote unquote died of the coronavirus, the more you find out like they had some other thing that they were battling. So again, I'm not saying that it's completely a hoax like people say. Because that's the thing they say. Well, you think it's a hoax. No, I don't think it's as dangerous to the general public as the response.
To the general healthy public. It's not as dangerous.
No, what I'm saying is it was no more dangerous to those high-risk people than normal life was. The flu, a cold, pneumonia, it was no more dangerous. For us to shut down the entire world and fuck up everything. I mean, think about this. We shut down everything for a solid month.
No, I know.
Shut it completely down. Well, to start with, we shut down for a month.
Yeah.
Where nobody did anything.
I know.
Fuck the whole world up.
I was waiting for the sun to not come up one of those days.
Fuck kids' schools up for what?
I don't know.
And what frustrates me, at the beginning, everybody was scared. We didn't know. They're talking like... Now think about this. They're talking 3 to 5% of the population was going to die. So that means in our community here, I don't know what I did with my phone. I think there's 5,000 people that live around here. Yes?
Okay. Oh, I have no idea.
So we'll just say 5,000 people. I think there's 10,000 people in the county.
Really?
I think. That would mean 500 people in our county at 5% would have to die. At 1%, 100 people would have had to die of coronavirus.
How many people did? We had deaths?
We did, but it's way less than 100.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Oh.
All right, so wait. Again, if you remove all the people who... Look, I hate to be this fucking crass, but nobody dies of old age anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember when we were kids? People died and you're like, oh, geez, what happened to, your grandpa or something? Ah, they were just old. You know what I mean? So if you remove all those people, the people who are already sick with something, which is unfortunate, that boils that number down to almost nothing. So what I'm saying, to shut down the entire country, or just our county, for 1 or 2 deaths is insanity.
We had more than 1 or 2 deaths.
Pure would have happened regardless.
Well, do you know this? I guess is what you can't make these kind of claims without being able to back up your statistics.
The fact that you don't have, you're saying, are you sure? Instead of going, oh my God, there's 7 people just, down the street that died of coronavirus. This is what I'm saying. For us to shut down the world, it should be so overwhelmingly fucking bad. And it's not even anything.
No, I know. The way we dealt with it was not.
And then this mask bullshit, I'm fucking done. I can't do it anymore. It's insanity.
I still do it in stores. I just feel like people we know that own stores, and I just don't want them to have to deal with stuff. You know what I mean?
What stuff?
And
this is what the whole problem with this whole year, and this is the whole thing I'm going to say, is people won't stand up and go, this is fucking stupid. And the analogy I gave in the other 10-minute conversation that I'm going to have to repeat, is we are participating in a child's tea party that won't fucking end, where everything's make-believe. Hey, hang on to this cup. Oh, here's a napkin to put under it because it's hot. And you're sitting there going, there's no fucking tea in there, but okay. Like, we are stuck in somebody's fiction right now. And if you don't go along with it, you're the worst person in the world. And the very reason you just said, well, I wear a mask into the business because, people that own business, I don't want to cause trouble for them. And instead of going, this is fucking stupid. Like, can you imagine if wearing a mask was everybody had to have a fucking umbrella everywhere they went? At some point, you'd be like, this is fucking insanity. This umbrella is not keeping me dry on a fucking sunny day. I'm already going to be dry.
I know. I guess
I'm smart enough to figure out when I need or don't need an umbrella without the government mandating it to me.
Well, that is just the difference in our personality. I would just...
So how long are you willing to wear a mask? Can you wear it forever? Like, seriously.
I mean,
are we going to have this conversation in 5 years?
I'm a wee bit of a germaphobe.
We used to laugh at those people. Now everybody is those people.
I know.
Think about it.
I feel like I might wear a mask forever now in Walmart. Just because I kind of always wanted to, but it would have been weird.
Then why do you go there?
Huh?
This is what drives me nuts.
Because I need shit.
I'm just frustrated by the whole fucking thing.
Well, I know. Everybody is.
Obviously not.
Well.
Like, there should be people fucking near rioting about our kids having to wear masks all day. That is the most insane fucking thing I've ever heard of in my entire fucking life.
The only thing I can say there is the kids it really doesn't seem to bother them.
It's sad.
Like I thought it would. Yeah. They seem to roll with it pretty good. Like, half the time I have to remind Piper to take hers off. I'll be like, honey, you're in the car now. You can take that off. Oh, yeah. She's like, it's like they don't even notice anymore. That's how used to it they are.
It's frustrating.
I still don't understand people out in fresh air, sunlight, walking down the street completely by themselves and have a mask on.
It's insanity. Is
it in case they run into somebody? Or
I feel like some people. Oh, this will lead me into my next point. I feel like some people are just frightened.
Yeah.
And they just are scared to death by the whole thing. Like, seriously, let's back this up.
Back the fuck up.
So what if they came out last year and said, "Hey, we're worried about people spontaneously combusting. You have to wear a fireproof suit at all times." And then we've gone an entire year, and the only people that spontaneously combusted were smokers who use gasoline for fucking perfume. And you're like, well, duh. Obviously, those people are going to catch fire. Why do I have to wear that? Seriously, that's about what it's like. There's high-risk people who are affected by fire. And then there's the rest of us who, like, the odds of me just catching on fire is almost fucking zero on a daily basis. Well, so it'd be insanity.
And I kind of understand, like, in the beginning there, they didn't know shit about shit.
I get that.
And we're trying to figure out what in the heck it even was and how it's even transmitted. They didn't even know that in the beginning. Like, everything was...
But that leads me into my next frustration. Okay. Is the vaccine stuff.
Okay.
All right, so you get the vaccine. So you're good now. Nope. You might have to get another one in, what was it, half a year, basically.
But then they said maybe 3 months.
Because we're not sure that one's going to really protect you. Also, you still have to wear a mask. Also, you still have to social distance. And you can spread it. Then you're like, well, what's the difference between being vaccinated and not being vaccinated then? Oh, you definitely want to get vaccinated. It's going to protect you and people around you.
But it's free.
Does it work or not?
Right. Like, I don't think they even know. Like, there's a facility I know of.
Oh my God.
Where every resident, so frustrating. Every resident and every employee has been vaccinated for quite some time now.
And they're a pretty closed community, too.
Yes. But they had an employee, through routine testing, had an employee test positive.
Who didn't feel sick.
So, well, we don't know that.
From what I understand.
So they've now shut down all the visitation and everything. Well, now, wait a minute. If they have all been vaccinated, how is someone positive? Yes, that snoring is our dogs. I've already moved them once.
Okay, I thought it was my phone going off.
No,
I plugged it in
it's the dog snoring. No, it is not me or my breathing, Chris Lactash. It is the dog.
I'm just over another insanity.
I kind of even don't want to talk about it anymore.
Well, the other thing I was going to mention about all this, with the vaccines on the other side of it is, and I said this way back about this time last year, that there's a lot of people acting like complete assholes about this whole thing. Going over the top, just being ridiculous, rude assholes about it. And one day, this is going to be passed, and everybody's going to fucking remember it. And those people have gotten vaccinated, and now they're the most flippant fucks in the whole wide world. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, the people that were scolding you about wearing masks, you'll see them in fucking public with no mask. And they're like, well, I'm vaccinated, are you? Go fuck yourself. You self-righteous fuck.
First of all, I feel like you don't have the right to even ask me that, but...
It's fucking bananas.
Do you go around asking people if they're on birth control? I don't think you are. I don't know the right answer. I don't. It's all frustrating and fatigue causing and nauseating, and I'm tired of it all.
So this is what I'm saying. So this is my whole point on all this. Everybody is at this level. So they're like, I'm just going to not fucking make a big deal about it. I'll just wear a mask and I'll just have to show my fucking papers before I go into a sporting event if that ever starts. See. And I'll just go along with it all.
I can't believe that's actually going to happen, but I think it already is. Like to go on cruises and stuff, I think.
People should just be saying, fuck you. We're not fucking doing this anymore. I'm
sure people are.
I don't think so. When I go into,
are you the only one?
When I go into Walmart,
the only one.
It's me. So most of the smaller places I go to. So I went all the way to Buffalo today. I had 4 stops on my way to Buffalo. And like I said, I've completely given up on wearing a mask. I just won't fucking do it. If I walked into someone, they're like, hey, put a mask on. I'm not going to fight with them. I'd put it on. Whatever. But I went from Bradford. Wait, I was actually in 5 different places. From Bradford all the way to Buffalo and back. And I'm just not wearing a fucking mask. I'm just not doing it. So everywhere I went into, there's almost nobody wearing a mask. Or the people that work there they have it hanging off their ear. And when you walk in, they put it up. And they're not the only person in the building. But for the most part, almost everywhere I went is almost like normal. Like, nobody's wearing a mask. So I feel like it's all... People are slowly just... I'm done with this.
I'm sure.
Fuck this shit.
That's why they're screaming numbers are rising.
The numbers, this is what I'm saying.
No, that's what I mean, is anytime everybody's like, fuck this, I'm going to this party, or I'm going to gather for New Year's. Oh, because you did that, numbers are rising. And they know that people are kind of like ready to burn their masks and be done with it. They're like, alarming rates, rising numbers.
It's the news. So what else is going on?
Oh, God.
We haven't done a podcast in a few weeks. We've been busy with... As soon as it gets nice out here, it seems like we're shut-ins from like November till roughly sometime in March, depending on the weather. Mm-hmm. And then after that...
Yeah. Well, new to this year is baseball, so that's fun.
You know, practices and whatnot.
Yes. Maybe go to camp soon.
I'm thinking this weekend.
Okay.
We always had camped before we were permanent. We always camped on Mother's Day. And it was usually rainy and cold and shitty.
I don't even know when Mother's Day is.
It's this weekend, isn't it?
I don't think.
Oh, shit.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe it's next weekend.
Oh, that's another thing. So it turns out, I didn't know this. I got a new fridge. I did know that. Our other fridge was 16 years old. Got a new fridge. Thought I'd get myself a nice black stainless steel fridge. I did not know stainless steel is not magnetic. Fun fact.
You learn new things every day, Pam.
All my sweet little baby girl drawings and everything all have to go on basically one side.
It's got like the door in the door. I just opened it to get a beer out. Mm-hmm. That is very nice. Mm-hmm. I do like that a lot. I couldn't believe the people on Facebook.
Dude, you're going through a lot of beer, you know.
Hey, we all have our problems.
All of yours are also mine.
Okay. So I posted a picture the other night. I came home and you had cleaned everything off the refrigerator. Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Are you sure it's 16 years? I thought it was longer.
2005 is when we redid the kitchen and got that and the stove.
Is it? Wow. Mm-hmm. So there's like 16 years of stuff on that fridge, like pictures and
dirt.
Dirt, yes, under it. Oh my goodness.
Well, when I painted the walls, I cleaned it.
I'm gonna get.
So it's only been a couple of years.
Put that on the list of the weekly cleaning to pull the fridge out. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, no.
But there was like pictures of your dad and our nieces and nephews and family friends, and just random shit from when Piper was in kindergarten and younger, and there's just a collection of shit on the fridge. And then I came home the one night, and it was the night before the new fridge was supposed to come, and you had cleaned everything off the fridge, and it was just this white bare fridge. And I came out here and I'm like, aw. I was kind of sad.
I know.
So I posted a picture of it. I might have had a little too much to drink that night and was feeling a little sentimental.
What? Weird.
So I posted a picture of it, and you could see the new fridge. It was sitting in the back room, and I'm like, there's the new fridge, old fridge, and basically said what I just said. And fucking people constantly posted, "Oh, you're gonna fucking hate that fridge. Oh my god, you made a mistake."
I almost posted on there, I feel attacked. You're attacking my personal choice.
I was like, constructive criticism. You're all a bunch of fucking dickheads. Like, what the fuck?
It's like literally sitting here in the back room already. We've made the choice. We're not going to send it back. Please don't tell me how much it sucks. I personally love it.
I liked it. Fuck it.
But I haven't even... I feel like we're going freaking 100 miles an hour. And then when we're not, I just want to be a lazy asshole and maybe nap.
100 miles an hour how?
It's just every day we have somewhere to go, something to do, or we'll go riding, or what do you like 100 miles an hour. So I haven't put all the stuff back on the fridge. I have it all, like a lot of stuff I put away, to keep, but all the pictures and stuff and her little handprint cutouts from nursery school and stuff like that I want to put back on there. I just haven't done it yet. It's all sitting right there in a pile, but I'll get it all back on there. And the inside I haven't even put anything hardly back.
All I know is I cleaned out, well, you cleaned out like all the big stuff out of the fridge that just needed thrown away in the first place. And then there was just still stuff in there. So Saturday morning, I had to run a water line and blah, 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 blah. So I pulled everything out of the old fridge so I can move the new one in. And we have an astounding amount of condiments.
I know.
I'm just like, what?
Duplicates. We have like 4 jars of pickles.
We have
like,
what equals like a shopping
I know.
Or a grocery store wall
I know.
of condiments. I'm just like, God damn.
I know.
And then I was going to throw some of them.
Are expired.
No.
Well, I just did. I'll go through all that. Yeah.
Any of them that looked remotely sketch, I checked the date. I pitched some, but we still have a shitload of them.
I know.
But then the other part was, I'm like, I just throw this out. And I'm like, wow, there's like a quarter thing of honey mustard there. Like, we'll probably use that some night.
And then Piper threw it away.
Yeah, her and her buddy, they were over this weekend, and they decided, just randomly, we got the UFC fight, and so we're all out in the garage, and her and her buddy decided to go through all the condiments. The most random thing in the world.
Mm-hmm. Put them well, pretty much all of them back in the fridge, but also you have to admit, you are a sauce connoisseur. How many barbecue sauces and stuff in there do you have? I
threw away a bunch of them when I was
Did you?
Yeah, I threw all those Caribbean jerk.
The ones you didn't like,
Caribbean jerk. Do you say Caribbean or Caribbean? I say Caribbean.
Oh, you're fucking fancy.
I threw a bunch of those away.
I need to stop swearing.
Okay. So the video, I don't know if anybody saw it or not, but I posted it on, I tagged you in it. It's on both of our Facebooks, of riding this weekend. So we have this new radio in the side by side, and it came with these 2 cameras, and they're just front and back. And when you get in, you just hit a button and it just records. It's way better than GoPros. We used to try GoPros, but you can't tell if the goddamn things are on. They're just they suck. And you have to take the GoPro out to turn it on and off, and you're supposed to be able to use your phone, but then you have to connect, and you might as well just take it out and turn it off by that. It's just, we tried GoPros.
Maybe they're better now.
Sucks. No, same shit.
John, how are we ever going to get a sponsorship from GoPro if you keep running your mouth?
We're going to we want Nav Atlas, the stereo system in the thing.
Okay.
But anyways, there's a million times I wish we had video when we're riding, just the dumbest shit happens. And it's just something you wish you could watch again to see what it was.
And no, we don't video people peeing behind our buggy.
No, we turn off when we stop.
Yeah.
We just watch with our bare eyes.
You might.
So Piper had her buddy over. We go riding. We have the cameras going. And those girls, all day long, all they do is laugh and squeal and carry on. Mm-hmm. It's my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing in the world. So there's one section where everybody was riding pretty nice all day and just kind of poking along, getting lost, doing circles. But we hit this one section and it's super wide and there's all this mud. And as soon as we start down this, it's a pipeline is what it actually is. As soon as we start down that, everybody starts screwing around, passing each other, splashing through the puddles. And the video is the best. But what makes it are the girls laughing the whole time. Mm-hmm. Like they're just squealing. People are coming up and passing us and splashing us. And they're just hooting and hollering. I love it. It's my favorite thing in the world.
Well, what started it right as you started into that road was the song with the word butt crack in it.
Oh, my God.
And they heard butt crack, must have looked at each other, decided whether or not they'd get in trouble for laughing, and then just busted out laughing.
Oh, those good times.
Yeah.
And then we went to a restaurant to emphasize and not to...
You're not gonna, are you?
I'm not gonna say where it was.
Okay.
But could have been the I don't know, I'm trying to think. I've only ever had one restaurant experience that I would say is worse. And I'll tell you which one, because you probably don't know which one I'm going to say, but so we go to this restaurant. We get there roughly at 5:30. Now this is like they just added on to their dining room to have more room for dining. And I don't think... You're
getting dangerously close to calling them out.
No, I'm not. Well, I'm not. Just let me finish. And I was going to say, it underscores the fucked upness of the past year. They can't get enough people to work. They're short-staffed. We show up, and it's just a clusterfuck. And it's not just that place. It's almost everywhere we go is a clusterfuck. Just think about anywhere we rode to in the past month. So
So to be fair,
we
should be calling these places ahead of time and saying, hey, we're coming.
The problem is, and you're right.
But the hard part is to give them a window of time.
Right. And sometimes we don't actually make it.
Right.
Like, to be honest, we were going to a different place. Mm-hmm. And then we found out they had an event going. So we decided to go to this place just randomly. And then and this is what worries me when we're riding, what if we break down? You know what I mean? What if we get lost?
So you can't, I guess, call someplace and be like,
right,
we might be coming with a group of 20 people.
What's frustrating about this one is this is a place that's a pretty big destination for people riding on the weekends. And that place wasn't overwhelmed.
Guess what, folks? It shouldn't be.
And I also think, so there's another group that was already ahead of us that we knew. And I was thinking about this later. I think they confused that we were all the same people. So there's another table that was already eating when we got there. They got there ahead of us. And we went over and talked to them, and then we kind of sat down around them. And it seemed like a couple...
We were completely ignored.
Right. I was going to say, it seemed like a couple of the waitresses probably were really new. So I kind of felt like they're confused. But long story short, we were there for 3 hours. And we got our food roughly 2 hours and 47 minutes into us being there. And we wolfed it down because we were starving.
Which was
and the food
grave error on my part.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, the food was good. When it came, it wasn't bad. But I think, so somebody else was on the other side watching the cook. And what they said was, like, everybody at their table ordered burgers. They would make one burger, plate it, set it aside, cook the next burger, plate it, set it there, cook the next. Yeah. They would only do one thing. It's
a terrible
And who knows?
method.
And this is what I'm saying. Like, we fucked up the entire food industry there's and I hate to say it, but the lower paid people in the work system are making more on unemployment. So they stay home. The restaurants were also closed, so you wouldn't go get a job at a restaurant that could randomly get closed or get their hours reduced, or it's just going to be what is that?
The dog.
Jesus Christ. So like and this is what I was going to say. I don't fault the restaurant owner. I know him. I know most of the restaurant owners. I like them. I just feel really bad that it's the most fucked up thing in the whole wide world and there's no answer for it. Like,
no.
What's the restaurant owner supposed to do? Work there 24/7?
Right.
Like at some point they have to leave, and then if there's no workers to work, it's just clusterfuck. But the worst restaurant experience I ever had was we were actually with the same couple I was talking about earlier, and I can't remember if that was what we recorded earlier and I didn't talk about this time, or we talked about it this time.
I don't know.
But anyways, so we were with this other couple. We went down by Harrisburg. We were on our way back and we stopped at this diner thing. Remember?
Yes.
We go in there.
That has nothing to do with overcrowded.
This was like what? Oh my God, it was probably 10 years ago.
Oh, more than that. Jesus, Piper's 9.
So it was a while ago.
Yeah.
So we swing into this place. We're on our way back from a show or something or another we went to. And we wheel into this like truck stop diner-ish place. We go in there, same shit. We sat there forever before the waitress. One of us finally had to go up and get one of them. Be like, hey.
Customer.
So she comes over. She couldn't give two shits whether we were there or not. So we all order. And I specifically said, we're going to get terrible food here. I'm just going to order a fish fry because it's almost impossible to fuck up a fish fry.
Well.
And they brought something out.
Turns out.
That was like this thin, hard piece of something.
Shoe leather.
She set it down in front of me and I'm like.
It was the bottom of a flip-flop, I'm certain.
Crispy though.
Fried, yes.
And I picked it up about a foot above the plate and dropped it. And it goes, tinkling. A fucking fish fry went tinkling. And I just pushed it ahead. Like, I'll just be hungry. Could be, that's number one. It hasn't been beat yet.
Yeah.
At least when we finally got our food this weekend, it was good tasting. It was completely edible and delicious.
Or when we went to that restaurant in an area close to us, and as soon as you and I walked in, I said to you,
oh, fuck that place.
The way it smelled.
Yeah.
And it was a Friday fish fry day. Yeah. And I said, I'm telling you what, they're making people sick. I can tell you right now. Just by the way it smelled in there.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
And it tasted bad too.
I didn't get it.
Whatever we got.
Oh, yeah.
So for all our friends that are listening, I'm just going to say it was a restaurant in Emporium.
Yeah.
And we were over there doing something. We were buying a car. Well, we bought that black car that night.
That what?
That black car we had. That Lincoln.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the night we went over and got that.
It was so bad.
And as soon as you walked in there, it just smelled like dead fish.
Rancid. Yeah, it was bad.
But we ordered something and it was bad. And remember, we whatever it was, we got it and we took a bite of it. And you're like,
yeah,
there's something wrong with this. So the waitress comes over and she's kind of like, you guys aren't eating your food. And we're like, there's something wrong with this. So she just takes your fork and takes a bite of it, remember?
I don't remember that.
And we're like, what? She's like, tastes fine to me. I'll just take it off your bill.
Okay.
We're like, well,
help yourself.
Bye. We'll just go down
COVID.
to Sheets and get a schmuffin.
Right. Yeah.
I forgot about that one. That's going to be number 2.
Yeah, the minute you walk in.
Oh, it's bad. What?
Can you pause?
I could. I'm going to pause. Okay, we're back. We had to pause.
Okay. So, are you still looking for guests?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it gets tricky right now.
Why?
Because I've been busy at work.
Mm-hmm.
And then it seems like every day or every night we have stuff going on.
That's what I was saying. And earlier you were like, what do you mean? But anyway.
No, I just meant it's tricky to schedule.
Mm-hmm. Well, the phone-ins worked pretty well.
Yeah. But again, I have to do them at like this hour of the night.
I know.
Trying to do them during work hours, I've just been absolutely too busy to do it. And then every night of the week, it seems like we have something going on. So.
Yeah. Well, because what would you be looking for in a guest?
I don't care. So
exactly. So I've talked to people and they'll say something about the podcast and I'll be like, oh my God, you should like be on it. Oh my God, no. I feel like people are really intimidated. Mm-hmm. But it's like 9 times out of 10, it's me on the other microphone. Mm-hmm. And the most I have to offer is like a lot of cuss words and occasionally a counterpoint to what you're going on about. So I don't know what is so intimidating about it. I feel like people should not be.
So I think
intimidated.
I've noticed a couple things. So
other than I think every single human being on earth hates their own voice.
True. I've noticed there's been a few people who were super gung-ho to do it. And I'm not just talking recently, I'm talking over the years. Because I've actually been kind of doing the same thing for a long time, sporadically. And everybody thinks that in your head, like when you watch whatever's on right now, whoever that chick is, but when you're watching the talking heads on TV and they're giving their points and responding and going back and forth, everybody feels like they could instantly do that. Like you just get up there and just talk about it. And well, I'm just saying the people that said they wanted to do it, and then suddenly they realize it's a lot harder to be witty and bring up and remember really good points on the quick. So
like you just couldn't think of the word you wanted there, but exactly. That never happens on TV.
But what's weird is,
except for Joe Biden,
when you sit down and do a podcast, an hour goes by super fast. So you'll have a conversation, an hour goes by super fast, and then I think a lot of people listen back to it, and you get that like douchey, chilly thing that happens where you're like, oh, I didn't say what I like. When you're listening back to it, you're like, I should have said this. And then I have a really hard time getting people to do it again. Yeah. There's only a few of my friends who are like, yeah, I'll do it whenever I don't give a fuck. But they're usually people that speak all the time for a living.
Which not very many of our local-ish friends do that.
And it's really hard to, one of the things that would make this podcast easier is if it, to be blunt, if it had a point. So,
right.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, if it was...
Well, for the last year, it's basically had one point.
What's that?
To talk about fucking COVID. No. Kind of.
I've talked to a lot of other people.
Well, that's true.
But if it was, for instance, it was an automotive-based thing.
Or a sports thing.
Yeah, like like a painting, even like in your business, there's a painting or home improvement or you were very themed, then you get like a person that's in that genre and talk to them about it, and it's way easier. I'm going to interview you about painting. Right. And you're like, oh, I know all about painting. Yeah. Like whatever you ask me is probably going to be good. Whereas let's just have conversations and figure out like what you think about shit. And then the other thing that I get a kick out of, and all the people that have done this over the past year, because we've actually done, I don't know, this is like, we're in the 50s somewhere in episodes. The amount of things people will tell you during a podcast, especially people that I know really well, that I'm like, I didn't ever hear this story before. But for some reason, when they're on a mic and they've had a few beers, especially. Next thing you know, they're blurting out shit, and you're like, I don't know if you should be talking about this, but all right, let's do it. Like, it is really weird.
I feel like we need to do drunk history podcast style. Okay, for anybody that's listening, if you have not watched Drunk History on Comedy Central, do it.
It's hilarious.
I think all the back episodes are on Hulu.
I'm not sure. It comes on another channel too.
When I called it up on Xfinity the other day, it showed it as Comedy Central. I thought it was Discovery or one of those.
I think it comes on later at night on History Channel or one of those channels too.
I don't know.
It's hilarious.
Just Google it or whatever. But Drunk History, hilarious.
So if you could go back a year...
I don't want to go too deep now.
Oh, wait. A year ago today, would you do anything different how you lived your life the past year, knowing what you know now? Like if you go back to this day, April 26th, 2020, when we're starting to realize like everything is getting really fucked up, would you go back and tell your 1-year-old self, do this or don't do that?
I would probably, because the whole butterfly effect situation. I mean, maybe somebody I know didn't get sick because I wore a mask, that kind of thing. But what I'm going to say is what I would tell myself back then is don't lose sleep over this. Mm-hmm. It's going to be okay. Because I was doing the melatonin, I mean, everything, because I was sitting on my butt for like 2 months. Because everyone was so scared, and I was scared, and I was scared for Piper, and because they didn't know for the longest time whether it took out kids or not. Mm-hmm. But
or anybody.
I think that's the only thing I would, I guess, do different or tell myself is don't panic. It's going to be okay. Don't get yourself stressed out to the point of not sleeping, not, of like being afraid of everything.
What would you tell other people?
The same thing, I guess.
Yeah.
That's really the only thing I can think of.
I probably went back and told myself to buy Bitcoin.
Oh God. I wish you would have done that too.
I
also would have told you, hey John, easy on the cases of ramen. We don't need that many.
Hey, we're prepared.
We still are.
That's fine. I have no problem with that.
Yeah. Easy on the chunky soup and ramen cases.
You know what is weird is how fragile our lives really are overall.
Especially in the realm of toilet paper and
when you
cleaning products.
Yeah, when you think about how bad this potentially could have been versus what it was. So let's just say those estimates were right, that
half the population was going to be gone.
It wasn't a half. Well, they never said half, but they said 3 to 5%. So that's a lot of people. And that's people that died. There would be a larger amount of people that got really sick. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it wasn't anything close to that. And things got this fucked up. And I don't want to say that society broke down a little bit, but I think we got close, like really fucking close to just shit getting a little weird. And then everything started, especially around where we were at. Like, we didn't really have any shortages of anything.
We also didn't have any riots or...
Right, any of that stuff. But if that had the potential to go side fucking ways.
Well, and
like super easy. Just imagine if they ran out of food in one of these cities that they're like riding in and stuff. So now you don't have any food and you have all this other shit going on. Mm-hmm. It's like bad newsville.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I can't remember. Must have been really important.
If I was going to go back and tell myself, honestly, besides buy Bitcoin
and toilet paper,
I'm not worried about
We never really right now.
No. I'm not worried about wiping my ass. We're good.
Goodness. What?
I got sucked into the QAnon stuff. And I wish I could go back and...
Wait, you did?
Yeah. I wish I could go back and go... I don't think all this is bullshit, but just let's pull back a little bit.
But I did tell you that.
I know, but what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, there was a lot of fucked up stuff that was kind of brought to light by that, but there's a lot of straight up nutball stuff that just kept going. And we were all bored, so I guess it helped pass the time. But I wish I could have went back. King. If you would have went back and went, John, not so much QAnon. The economy's going to be coming back. Just work on a new business idea. Put all your energy into that instead of figuring out which celebrities are drinking children's blood to stay young.
All right. Jesus Christ.
All that crazy stuff.
I would tell my past self, put out a Netflix special right now. Because the whole world is going to watch it.
Well, you would have to do some crazy shit. Like you'd have to have tigers and...
Sex with a bunch of gay guys.
Well, that'd just be regular sex.
For me.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
That's regular sex for me, too.
Like...
I sleep with gay guys all the time. They get so excited.
Oh, brother.
No, not your brother. I'd never had sex with your brother.
Do you suppose he's listening to the podcast right now and being like, what the fuck, Pam?
I know. No, I don't mean because he's gross. I mean because he's your brother.
Uh-huh.
And he's not gay. He's not my type.
Sorry, Pete.
Just kidding.
Oh, shit.
See you at camp.
Oh, Christ.
Okay, and then on another crazy note, allergies are taking out like everybody this year. And guess what? They were last year too.
Right, and you can't smell.
All of us. Yeah.
Well, you said like a week or so ago that as soon as that little triangle appears on my phone that's like pollen alert, I'm like, oh no.
Damn. Yeah.
It didn't used to bother me as bad, but like the past couple years.
Yeah, and what is it? Because I've heard so many people say the same thing.
You think the pollen's stronger this year because the winter was so cold or something? I
don't know. It was the same way last year. Remember last year, the first month that we were going to camp, I'd lose my voice and stuff?
Well, it was like I get all stuffy and then my nose runs. And...
I had allergies terrible when I was a kid, but not again until like the last 2 years.
I remember a few weeks ago or last week or whatever, you're like, can you smell? I'm like, fuck no. Yeah. I can never fucking smell when I have a stuffed up nose.
Yes, same.
It's not a new thing.
Or taste. Especially sinus infection. That's always... Anyway.
I will say, if I was going to look back at the past year, there's two things. One, it changed my outlook on everything in the way that I had worked really hard in business and got through some stuff. And I just remember having a moment where I just kind of threw my hands in the air like, okay.
Jesus, take the wheel.
No.
Oh. Okay. Oh, I thought that's where you were going with that.
Sword.
Okay.
What I was saying was,
sorry.
I went through a bunch of different business stuff and just kind of.
You have to work tomorrow.
Not hard. And willed your way through it, and you're like, you blame everything that goes wrong on you, and you just keep working and working to get through it, and then you run into something like last year, and I just sort of threw my hands up in the air like, it didn't matter what I would have done leading up to that.
Mm-hmm.
Same with everybody else. It didn't matter what you did before that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you were better off one way or another, financially or whatever you want to say. But if you had a thriving restaurant and you did all the things right, you were shut down. No fault of your own. So at all of a sudden, you have to have a moment, if you're a thinking person, where you go, were all the weekends and nights worth it that I sacrificed growing this thing that someday, and this is the irony, that someday I could just take a month off and relax. And when you're forced to take a month off and relax,
or 6,
well, and everything just keeps going on. Like, I'm very fortunate that, my business, I had a couple really slow months, but then everything just sort of kept chugging along because
you're designed to be contact free,
right? So I was lucky in that aspect, but like, you could have had the best ice cream business in the world leading up to last summer and just had it ruined by no fault of your own. You could have worked 7 days a week, 18 hours a day for 3 years, and now it's ruined. And then suddenly you have to go, was all that worth that? I missed out on this or that, or I could have done this or that with my kids or my wife or my friends or my family, and I didn't because I quote unquote had to work. So that's thing A, kind of changed my perspective about a lot of things. And 2, I had one of the funnest years on record last year. I mean, honestly, we couldn't go anywhere. We couldn't do anything, but we had a riot last year with our friends all hanging out and different things.
Feeling like we were breaking the law.
But we had I mean, as far as laughing and carrying on and just, you were sort of free not to worry about shit for some reason. Like, it didn't seem to matter because
we're all gonna die.
Well, you couldn't go anywhere,
right?
So it's Tuesday. You want to hang out? Sure.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? Like, for a while there, and then it all kind of started going back to normal-ish. But I don't know.
What do you suppose our podcast in a year from now is going to be?
I don't know. I think Biden's probably going to fix everything. That's another one that if I had to put money on it, there's no way I would believe at this moment, because this was before the Democratic primary. That's coming up next month when they pick their person. There's no way I would put Biden on being the guy, let alone the fucking president.
I recorded the debates, and I just want the world to go back and watch them.
So bad.
And watch Kamala
just destroy him.
Destroy Joe Biden.
I can't even, like, I've had to, like, well, I can't even watch the evening news without going into a full-on rage.
Oh my God. Okay, every night you yell at me that I have it on to irritate you.
I'm
and
sure
all right,
you do.
yes. In a way, it does make me happy to see how upset about things you get, but
it's just such,
for the most part, it's just on.
It's just such nonsense. Everything they have on.
Well, it's alarmist news. Everything is breaking news, and just their verbiage on everything is so alarming that it's back to the fatiguing thing.
And it's been a whole year of every time there's a riot and they're literally showing somebody throwing something through a store window and
wait, you mean those peaceful protests?
And saying they're peaceful protesters.
Mostly peaceful protesters.
And it's like, you're showing a video that proves they're the exact opposite. Like, either quit showing this video, call them what they are, or quit pretending I'm the dumbest human in the world.
I can't even go down that road.
I know, but that's what I'm saying about all that from the past year. It's like, I'm not that stupid. Like, you're showing me a fire, you're showing me a building burning down and going, so really nothing's going on. And you're like, but There's a burning building on the fucking TV.
Well, do you care more about property than lives?
Yes.
That's a dumb argument, first of all.
I care more about my property than your life, and so should you. So, you should care more about your life than my property.
Yeah.
It's just warped. And then all the gun stuff. It's just been a year of everything you listen to just pushes my fucking buttons.
I know.
I just can't.
Did you forget I live with you?
Yes. And do you wonder, this is the other thing I wonder about sometimes, do you wonder if that's just getting older? Because I remember older people ranting and raving about
I'm
different shit, and I'm like, I don't know if it's a big deal.
I'm sure that's part of it, because tolerance levels go down.
No, I think I'm more tolerant today than I ever have been about opposing views and stuff. I remember being younger and thinking everything was super black and white, and now I just think everything's kind of gray.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no 100% one way or another. It's usually both sides are kind of right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like
I've kind of always been that way, though, but...
I mean, it's kind of like the whole police versus... I don't even know what to say. You want to say police versus black people getting shot issue. Like, when you really, really look at it, there's no doubt bad cops. You can't have 1 million cops in the country or whatever it is. It's a large number like that of police officers, and they're 100% perfect. You know what I mean? Like, it would be impossible. I'm sure.
Just like you can't have 1 million black people and they're all perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit in the middle, and I'm not saying that there isn't, something that,
I can't go down that road either.
I just, it's really weird how everybody looks at things, and everything's pushed towards, just like the masks and all the other stuff. A narrative is pushed on you, and you can't question it without being called either racist or extremist or an asshole or you don't care about people, and you know what I mean? Like, you just can't be like, wait, this doesn't seem to make any sense. And that's where it's gotten really weird in the last year for me.
Well, I'm hoping next year's podcast.
So we're not going to do another one till this day in 2022.
How about we just not do another one about COVID until this time next year?
Okay.
This one, I don't think, was technically just about that, but... And that wasn't really our goal, but... We were... John just cut me off there, so...
I might be turning this up and down, I'm not
I'll
sure.
just stop talking now. He knows I'm getting sleepy. Bye, everybody. You just started it over.
I didn't mean to. I meant to try and stop it. Alright, what were you saying?
Nothing.
Bye.
Bye.